Well, this is one of the most requested IM to be reviewed, I think, nowadays. So, hello and welcome to Aftersound Review, and this is the Truthear Hexa. If you don't know, Truthear is actually a very new company that gained its fame from its first release, the Truthear Zero, in collaboration with Clinical, and it's definitely one of the best $50 IM that I ever heard. And this is their second attempt to make a good IM, the Truthear Hexa, using one dynamic driver and 3 balancer meter per side, and only cost around $80. Now, just like usual, I will break down this review from the build, fit, frequency response, sound, and comparison. They look really good, at least for my eyes. The aesthetic, I don't know, it just works for my eyes. For me, it has a unique shape for the very clean cut. It's mostly made of resin, and the housing is smoky. You can see it's a little bit translucent, but it has this smoky grayish tint to it. Well, it has this nozzle too. The nozzle part is quite big, and the thing that I actually like about the nozzle, it has bigger diameter around this area but smaller diameter in here, so it's somehow locking the ear tips easier rather than just just a tube shape. Well, the cable is 2-pin connectors and it's braided. It's very flexible, so overall it's a good quality, but it's very light in my ear. Well, the ergonomics for me is pretty much excellent. I could wear them for a whole day. They just fit really nice in my ears, and I feel no microphonic either from the cable, and yeah, they are very lightweight and has no sharpness touching my ear. Before going to the sound impression, the thing about this IM is that its nozzle is big, and honestly not a lot of ear tips could fit into my ear. So in this impression, I will be using this Acoustune AET08 that somehow really fits with my ears. So yeah, take it with a little bit grain of salt when you're hearing my impression, because I'm using not its stock ear tips, but rather the Acoustune type AET08 here. Okay, now let's start with the frequency response here. It's a very well balanced but also neutral-ish frequency response. You can see there's just a little bit of tilt around the sub bass area, but it's fairly very linear, and also the mid-range, it has the ear gain bump around 3K, just like it's somehow similar to the IEF neutral by Clinical, and the treble is fairly extended but not really emphasized. So mostly I could categorize this Truthear Hexa as somehow neutral-ish IM with a little bit of sub-bass boost. Okay, the bass from this Truthear Hexa is pretty much really dependent on the song, and somehow just be careful because I have a small ears. When I'm hearing them first, I feel that the bass is kind of limp, but it's just mostly because I wear them wrongly. So you need to get a really good seal with this IM, because the bass is mostly focused on the sub bass area rather than mid bass. So yeah, some songs doesn't really have that sub bass. For example, Closer from the Chainsmoker, I feel that the sub bass there is lacking because of the recording itself. But hearing other example of a music like the Alone from Burna Boy, that's a soundtrack from the Black Panther, Wakanda, whatever. From that music, the sub bass is just really well articulated and really good. You get that really good sub bass from the Truthear Hexa, and that's exactly what I hear. The bass is just excellent on some songs, not every songs. For some songs that is somehow lacking sub bass, like the Closer, I feel that the bass is just simply lacking the mid bass area. So yeah, it's not for EDMs, it's not for bass head. Actually, I like this, but I believe that not everyone could appreciate this sub-bass focused kind of bass. Some will prefer more mid-bass, but nevertheless, it's a good bass. It's a really well articulated sub-bass, but it's lacking fun factor in the mid-bass area. Okay, mid-range here is very well balanced. I feel no problem hearing male or female vocals. Even some instruments like guitar and piano are very well articulated and also, again, well balanced. I found nothing wrong with hearing them at all. I feel that almost no weakness here. Maybe I'm just really being nitpicking here when I'm hearing some really dynamics vocal like Kiala Settle from The Greatest Showman. This Is Me. I feel that, yeah, I'm just lacking some soul from it. I feel that it's lacking dynamics and also power when I'm hearing Kiala Settle's scream there. But nevertheless, I'm just really nitpicking here. Other than that, I feel no problem hearing any kind of vocal. It's just really well balanced vocal. Again, the treble area here is just well balanced. I don't know what else to say. It's just a really well balanced and articulated treble with great extension. At this price point, the extension of the treble is just really great. I feel the shimmering from the cymbals, also some airiness from the flutes and violins is there. But again, just with the mid-range and bass, I feel that it's lacking impacts. It's lacking some dynamics. So I feel when I'm hearing some music from like Lindsey Stirling, there's supposed to be more dynamics that I hope there. I do feel that hearing the violin here is really great. It's well balanced. It's not lacking any notes, but it's just not as fun. It's just not as powerful as I like them to be. So here's the thing about the tonal. There's like a theme going on here. It is superbly balanced across all frequency. You get that sub bass, you get that treble extension, you get very well balanced tonality across all frequency. For me, it's just lacking some fun factor. It's lacking dynamics for this IM. So if you are someone like me, the thing is, I used to play in a band, and you know the band is really well, you get a lot of dynamics things going on here there. I'm playing piano and I'm hearing some my drummer playing in the background there. I could really hear his energy back there when I'm doing my piano, and I just don't really find them in this Truthear Hexa. It's just really, it's just lacking some soul in it. I know I feel a little bit really nitpicking about that area. It's just the thing that I feel lacking from this IM because I used to play in a band. Well, also the technical part is just simply said, it is one of the best here. I get, again, for example, using the Alone from Burna Boy, the soundtrack from Wakanda Forever, I feel that the imaging, soundstage, and also overall resolution, you got them all here, really well layered there. But again, it's depends on the song. When I'm hearing Changing from Burna Boy to the Closer from the Chainsmoker, the imaging is kind of flat. I don't hear some layering going on with that. It's, yeah, the overall technicalness of this IM is not exaggerated. So in some songs you will find it's a little bit flat on that. But in some really well recorded music, like for the Foreplay and like that, the song that I showed before, Alone from Burna Boy, it's just really well executed in this IM, and it is better than Aria or even the Juno Titaness. So going to the direct comparison here, first of all against the Juno Titaness and Aria, because I find them somehow a little bit similar here and there, but personally I still like the Juno Titaness better. For me, the Truthear Hexa is more neutral compared to them, but both Aria and also the Juno Titaness, I feel that they have a little bit more mid-bass. So in some songs that I showed before in Closer, I feel more energy going on with that. And also I feel more treble airiness with the Aria and Juno Titaness, but more articulated and more extended treble. So it's a little bit strange. It's more detailed and defined in notes, but I feel that there's some more airiness, some breath with the Juno Titaness and Aria. So overall, I will still say that this Truthear Hexa is above them in terms of overall balance in tonality and also overall technical. But in terms of fun, in terms of timbre, in terms of openness, I feel that personally I would still pick the Juno Titan S because of those areas that I've mentioned. But overall, I will still rate this Truthear Hexa better than the Juno Titan S, even though personally I like Juno Titan S better. But it's just me. It's just me. And then going to the another comparison here with the another IM that I find to be amazing is the Dioko from 7 Hertz. I feel that the Dioko, being a planar, it is more resolving. It has better resolution, but the tonality is more of a U shape and certainly gets hotter in some songs. While in this Truthear Hexa, I feel it's more safer in tonality, and also the level of difference in layering and overall resolution is not that much. It's just a little bit better on the Dioko. It's still better clearly in some songs, but in terms of overall packaging, I personally feel that I will say that the Truthear Hexa is the more all-rounder one. In the Dioko, I feel the mid-range is lacking, so I do feel like I need to give them EQ around 3K there, around the upper mid-range part to get more mid-range presence. While in this Truthear Hexa, I will not change the thing. It's just already an amazing tonality at this price point. And again, if you ask me, some people ask me, is it like a blessing too? Well, the sensation is somehow similar, I know. The sensation is somehow similar because of that neutralness to it. It has, the Blasting 2 has the similar kind of neutrality going on, but the Blasting 2 for me has more upper mid-range. So for some people like me, I feel that it's a little bit more shouty, even though it's not overly shouty. It's still in my tolerance level, but it's also much better clear. So yeah, Blasting 2 is somehow reminiscence of this Truthear Hexa because of that neutralness, and also for me it's lacking dynamics and there's lacking a little bit of timbre naturality there. But overall, Blasting 2 is just ahead of this Hexa because of that resolution and overall better layering. It's just different level already, while the Hexa is just between, it's better than the Juno Titan S and Aria, but it's still below the Dioko. Okay, so I think that's all I could say about this Hexa overall. For $80, it is certainly simply as overall the best IM. I could think, yes, but my personal favorite is still the Juno Titan S though. So overall, this is my ranking for its tonality and this is my ranking for its technicality, while this is my final score for this IM. Just like usual, this ranking could be and will be changed according to the advancement of technology and also some change in the benchmark. If you are excited to see my ranking, you can see in the description below. And I think that's all. If you have any question, please write down in the comments below and see you next time. Bye bye.